Good morning. Today I'm going to show you how I did this particular art journal page. I used pixie powders and Pebeo drawing gum. So I've used this, which is a water-based drawing gum, which means it's washable out, which is very good when it comes to brushes, and a mapping pen, which you do need to clean the nib on quite thoroughly when you're finished, otherwise it will clog up. I'm using these two pixie powders, which are a powdered pigment containing mica, so there will be some glitz and shine afterwards. I'm using watercolour card to do the piece of work onto. Alright, this is what I have drawn using my mapping pen and the drawing gum. All this is basically straight lines going out from a centre dot with little tiny V's on each end. So it's very simple to draw without too many difficulties at all. Okay, first off, you take your lid off your pixie powders and you want to gently tap the bottom. The reason is because if you shake it, you're going to get too much powder out, and they'll go a long way. You can also use them to mix up as paint by just adding a little bit of water into it on a palette, so you can use them as a paint as well as using them to do this sort of a background technique as well. Now I'm using a red and a blue because I'm going to be getting some other colours come out in among them all, which will be quite nice. I'm going to use a small water mister, and as I mist it, you'll see the colours will start to come alive, and you'll actually see how bright and vibrant they can be as well. Okay, as we take a few minutes, you'll start to see that you'll get purples coming into it, some greys and some blues, which is quite nice. Now you can either heat set this and leave it to dry, as you can see all the different colours are starting to come through, or we can just leave it to dry naturally. Okay, here's one I did a little bit earlier, doing exactly the same. I've left this to dry. Now that it's dry, you can rub your drawing gum off, and what that will do is give you your negative effect image. Okay, which we can do quite nicely. You can rub it off with your fingers, or you can use an eraser. It's up to you when you're doing this. Now, in this particular area here on my picture, you can't really see the white lines because the background's quite pale. In this instance, what I tend to do is go in with a black fine liner and just draw them in so that you end up with the negative and the positive space of your image. As you can see, I'm drawing straight lines with little tiny V bits on the top with a few fluffy bits in the middle. Nothing too fancy or time consuming. You make it as quickly and as easy as you want it to. Now, the best bit is not to spend too much time messing around because you don't want it to be too difficult. You're looking at it being quite simple. So now you can see I've got my black and white in here, which is quite nice now. It sort of gives it a bit of a sense of what's happening. I can also do this over on this side here where it's sort of a little bit lighter, and just add the odd one in, which is a nice one. I can also go against the white edge and give myself a shadow on the underneath edge, which gives it a nice finished technique as well. And that's it. That's all there was to it. It's a really simple technique. Nice way to use it as a card topper, put it in a frame as a gift. Just a nice way to finish off a little bit of art journaling.